Guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. And yeah, I thought I'd do a quick video showing you guys my Punk adventure list. I got top 4 at Swansea Regional at the weekend. I went X1-1 in Swiss. I lost in the cursed last round of the regional. It's happened like twice now, 3 times sorry this season, where I've been undefeated and lost in the last round. But yeah, hopefully next year I can get a regional win because it's been long overdue. But yeah, other than that, sorry, I had a really good experience, really good tournament, last UK regional of the season. I'll just go through the deck. So Gamma, it was actually really insane, like baiting like a Foxy Tune or even like an E-Telly was pretty sick, but milling it off Chaos Ruler, it was just so dead. I felt like it come up like once or twice where it was like insane. Don't get me wrong, when it's insane, it's insane. Like going Enchantress, Banish, they bell it or ash it and you just go Gamma, it's like literally game. It's a free Chaos Ruler, but once you start getting bodies on board, it's quite dead. Obviously it's insane going second as well, but it might be something to take out for sure. Plus the driver, bro, I drew this like so much, but yeah, that's just part of the package, I suppose. Ash was like super good, Vela was super good, Droplet could be something I'd take out going forward and maybe trim the deck or even add more cards. I was thinking of bumping the numbers up to like 48, 49 and keeping these cards in and going heavier on the Punk package. So that's something I'm going to think about as well. Obviously 3 E-Telly. I want to play Ghost Ogre or even like 1 or 2, because there was a couple of situations where I'd open multiple E-Telly, right, and I just set one and use it as disruption on my opponent's turn in the mirror match, especially an Ogre, and just takes care of the Griffin. So yeah, I might think about teching in like 1 or 2 Ogres in the main deck or even side. Pretty standard like right package. No Illegal Knight. I thought Illegal Knight was really good in testing, but I didn't feel like I actually needed it in a grind game, because you don't really want to go in a grind game. And if you do, it's probably because you've got token collected or you got hand trapped to death where you're just losing anyway. So yeah, and plus when you don't have access to like the right engine, you're just never going to see Illegal Knight anyway because you want to prioritize Griffin. So yeah, I think Illegal Knight's an insane cards, but we're not trying to like grind with our opponent. We're just trying to side lock them and then access code them on a follow up turn. So yeah. It was niche situations where Illegal Knight was actually like sane, because you can go Draco back, bounce it to your own hand as well. It's cool interactions you can do with it, but I just decided not to play it. I also wanted to bump up like second adventurer, but I think I'd only a fateful adventure, sorry, but I only do that if I was playing more than like 44 or 45, because some hands where you just open this is actually really good because it baits out hand traps and it can search for Enchantress, which gets you like a free token anyway. So which is good for like levels for synchros. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Snow, this is like really standard. I wouldn't change any of this. I was thinking about playing Plague Spreader, but it's just like an egg one. And Distributor as well come up quite a few times, but I don't play Mimir for Yazi. That could be another option. But I also thought about, this is crazy, right? I thought about cutting the Rose package, because I was bricking so hard on it in testing, but I feel like the ceiling that it gives the deck is just so high. Like even if you're not sight locking them, you're ending on like Baron with Snow Engrave plus hand traps most of the time anyway. So yeah, if through hand traps, I mean if they don't have hand traps, you just go in full combo on them and it's probably game. Yeah, Sangan is a package I would take out. I was playing Souls for the longest time, but my theory was Soul was like going second. I wasn't really drawing cards off it, so it just felt like a level 1 Dark Extender, which is good going second because you can make Dark and you can make Anima. Some people aren't playing around this card. I don't know why. Like 3 or 4 times in the regionals, like people just putting stuff in Anima Zone, and I was just taking it. Obviously, Dark Charm was like really good going second. To link climb to Celine. So yeah, I think I'll probably play Souls again, if not more hand traps, because sometimes just normal summoning a hand trap's like really good as well. I also thought about playing Morna, Ghost Morna, because It stops Scythe, and it's not a bad normal summon. Like, I'd rather have a hand trap in hand to go in second than Sangan. So yeah, normal summon hand trap isn't bad. Like, it's actually pretty good. So yes, I think either take out the Sangan for like Souls package, because even though I wasn't drawing going second, you can sometimes draw 2 going first, which is really good. Plus, I'm not playing Eldritch stuff. That's something I did think about, playing like Eldritch cards in this deck, because Chaos Ruler milling, most of the time you want to mill like Enchantress for follow up, a hand trap to add to your hand, like either one, Veiler or Crow. But if you can add like extra broken mills to it, like Eldritch cards or like Distributor or something, then yeah, that would make this like deck really insane. Also, the deck doesn't really have a backbone. I feel like the issue with the deck doesn't really have like follow up, like massive amount of follow up, or in a grind game, it kind of sucks sometimes. I felt like in a grind game I was just sitting on a Psychic End Punisher, which was actually my only draw. But yeah, this is something that's like an issue with the deck. So I was thinking about playing the Eldritch cards. Side deck. So I thought about the side deck a lot the night before, but I got around to this. So Token Collector was I felt like it was fine at 1. You just send it off Shooting Riser like most of the time. I don't feel like you even need to open it, because in Sword Soul you're just playing so many hand traps for that matchup anyway. It would do me massively. Plus going first, like, Collector's insane. Obviously you side it in going second anyway. I wanted to play in the Zombie Wheels, but I just didn't have space for this package, so I might think about adding another one of these, because it does come up sometimes where you need a second one, or if you mill it off Chaos Ruler you still want access to it. Twin Reboot, these are fine. As the only back row hate, because you're playing like 43. So yeah, these were fine. I opened Twin Twister Reboot in my last round of Swiss, but I couldn't push through the hand traps, and it fucked me because I had like such an insane hand. But yeah, he's had like everything, all the hand traps. He had Barrier, Salmon Great Roar, but it is what it is. Anti-spell over D-Barrier, so I wanted to hit like Flunder, because I'm actually quite scared of that deck. I think the deck's like really good in the hands of the right player. Obviously the deck has like bricking issues and playing past like 2 hand traps, but yeah, I thought Anti-spell covered most of the matchups across the board in the game. As to what I predicted, obviously it's not great against Sword Soul, but it can do the job sometimes depending on the hand. They can pursue to bounce it, which sucks, but yeah. So 1 draw, you're probably thinking why the 1 draw? Well, you can search off Sangan going first. So say if you open, or say if you're starting 5 cards, you have Hulk access and you have a Sangan. Say you have like Itelli plus Sangan, right? I just go standard combo, and then before I make Hulk, I'll link this off at Almirage, and then I'll go into Hulky Fibrax using like the Z-Armin, leaving Chaos Ruler on board, and get my free draw going going first, sorry, because that's like full board and a draw against like the mirror match is insane. So yeah, that's why I teched it in. Funny enough, I actually sided it in once going second, and I saw it. Just a one of, I just saw it, so that was pretty good. But yeah, that's the theory behind that. I probably would change it, to be fair. And then 2 Crow, 2 Nib. I was super like unsure about these cards, main deck, side deck. I feel like you have to put them in your deck somehow, but I was so indecisive about the Gamma stuff and the Crows and Nibs, so I settled on like generic Gamma, with them both in the side at 2, and I kind of missed the 3rd Nib. There's so many game states where I was like, I need a Nib here because he's gonna like OTK me. So I think you just have to max out, like play 3 or nothing of this card. But yeah, that's the side deck. Changes, yeah, so maybe mess around with, take out the Sangans, maybe put in either more hand traps for like going second, and plus is good to like normal hand trap, Satuna. Maybe try the Ogres as well for disruption, and bump the numbers up to like 48. Yeah, and just see how that goes. Obviously Nats is like, what, like Saturday, so heading down like Friday, so realistically like 2 full days of testing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting though. But then extra decks, I feel like super standard isn't really anything unstandard. Maybe Cheng was like a card that's a flexi because, so let's say against a certain matchup where I scythe them and it doesn't matter, like Flunderies or back row deck, I thought Cheng was like a really good option, just like a win button, because let's say you play Eldritch, right, and you summon Cheng, most of the time you should be winning unless they have like everything, the nuts, like Skill Drain plus Floodgate plus Eldritch engine access. Kind of lose anyway, to be fair, but I thought this card was just another option to summon off the TG Wonder Magician and the Scythe. Because let's say if you have Baron, like most of the time you're making a Baron if you don't have Baron out already, but if I do have a Baron, I can just summon a Cheng, which normally is enough to OTK as well. Plus against like Despia and Sword Soul is pretty good as for like generic coverage across those different matchups. But it is a flexible space, maybe for the Earth Charmer, which I was thinking about a lot for the mirror match, and maybe Liner as well, but we're not playing really enough lights for Liner. But yeah, there's loads of changes I'd make, but the deck actually worked pretty fair, to be honest. Maybe if I was like under pressure and I couldn't test as much, I would probably just take out maybe the Gamma package, put in maybe Crows, take out Sangan, maybe add Souls, and then put in a third Foxy Tune in, and that'd be like 44, I believe, or no, it'd be 43. So maybe try that. But yeah, that's the deck.